Welcome to Class 36 graduation and pinning ceremony. Everybody please stand to welcome Class 36.
P2. Out. Right. Face. Back post. Post. Ready. Cover. Present. Arms. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Left. Face. Forward. March.
Good morning and welcome. Please be seated. Welcome to Class 36 graduation and pinning ceremony. Before I get started, I'd like to recognize some people. Stacy Heatherton. District 2 Commissioner. Harold Jenkins. Ed Campy. Taryn Krista. Don Donaldson. George Stokas. Do you have any retired firefighters in the crowd? Please stand. Thank you for your service. Veterans. So we finally made it here after a long wait. 9 weeks, Class 36, and actually it turned into 10 weeks, unexpectedly to Dorian. So a great class. And in essence, how and why are they here? So they all came to Martin County, put in applications. Over 400 applications were received for these 10 spots. So they made a great accomplishment just making the list. There was only 75 of that 400 made it to the interview process. Took roughly 320 man hours to pick these 10. So congratulations and thank you for being here. So 9 weeks of training, They've been here roughly 352 hours they've got to spend with the training department and with crews from the streets, volunteers that came in to assist the training department. You know, basic medical skills, basic firefighting skills, making sure they were in shape, ready for the job. On Fridays, we had nice, relaxing walks on the Veterans Memorial Bridge. I think it was relaxing. But also along with that, so we had 14 members of our department that volunteered to come in for 40 hours and work with us off the streets. Along with that, multiple crews came in during the days on specific training to help out with their training to get them ready to see how we do it in Martin County.
Rescue 242, engine 24,
So with that, though, it took a lot of work. Every morning, 7:30, checking out trucks, or at least what we could on the trucks. Then they had field training, working out, and then all types of skills we put them through. Whether it was EMS skills, they had a full 40 hours. They stayed upstairs before we first started out. And then from there, ladders, PPE, hose advancement, couple burns, and then Dorian. They got to see firsthand that the fire service is not just the fire service. We serve everybody in the community, no matter what the emergency is or non-emergency. When it came down to Dorian getting prepped and getting ready, they were here. These were the ones that were going out on the streets and picking up the people for the special needs shelters, making sure that they were ready. And then at the end of the storm, we still had to get everybody back home, making sure that when we got them home that their houses were ready, they had power to get back in. So they got to see firsthand something that typically the recruits don't get to see, only during storm preparation. I had 3 of them that spent nearly 3 days solid upstairs helping cook and feed everybody that was at the EOC. What was the name of that group? What's our special operations? SOC? SOC? Our special operations cooks. But it was a good experience and something that I don't think any of them forget, whether it was because they had to do all that work or they had to wait an extra week to get here. So along with their graduation, they're getting pinned today. This really has big significance. First pinning ceremony took place in the 16th century. Knights who used to protect their communities went out and saved their brothers who were being tarred and burned. At the end of that, they were pinned for those who went out to risk their lives and help their brothers. So this has been going on with Knights of Malta since the 16th century. And that's where the Maltese cross came from. But most importantly is that these knights almost a millennium ago had a creed or belief that their purpose in life was to serve those less fortunate. They held that service, honor, integrity, what they may have called gallantry, chivalry, or courage, defined the service to others that they performed and we provide today. Here at Martin County Fire Rescue, we have a ladder of ethics built rung by rung on these beliefs and to give us a purpose. Class 36 live by this ladder of ethics and make our department great. First, I'd like to introduce Chief of the Department, Chief William Schultz. Yes.
Chaplain Irwin, would you please come up, please? Help me out here.
Thank you.
We've all been through something, you mentioned Dorian, this past week, and we have this feeling, I think all of us, a great sense of joy that we have that somehow it's steered away from us. And yet, with that same feeling, we have this unique idea of the horror that it inflicted upon other people and our concern for them. So in addition to praying for the department, I'd like to offer a prayer for those people as well as us. Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, as we understand you to be, we do lift up our hearts in thankfulness that the horrible Hurricane 5, Dorian, did not come to our shores. Although we prepare for it, although we think we know what's in store, we would never have been able to really comprehend all that it was. And so we thank you that it did not come to us, but at the same time, God, you know. You in your heart know how much we are concerned about the people in the Bahamas, our neighbors, our friends. We're concerned about all the people, but not just all the people, but also our brothers and sisters in firefighting. We ask that you might be with all those people and somehow help all the people there in the Bahama Islands and beyond that are helping to resolve that situation in some way. God, we do thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity to be here today, to feel the feeling of family that we are as Martin County Fire Rescue. We thank you especially for these new young people who are joining the department. We thank you for their hearts and their lives and their courage and for the humanity each one is, each different, and yet all committed to the work of helping others, saving others. We thank you for the families gathered here today who have been so instrumental in guiding their children, their spouses, their fathers, their mothers, to accept this high calling to be in fire rescue. We thank you especially for the trainers who train these new recruits, not just to help others, but also to be sure that they know how to protect themselves. We thank you, God, for this entire department that is such new and exciting and like a family, and it is growing in every single way. We thank you for this wonderful, wonderful community that we serve, Martin County, for all of its leadership. God, now be with those who are being pinned today as they take their sacred oath. We ask that you might help them in every circumstance they are called. May what they've been trained just come naturally so that they can do the right thing. And when they mess up and do the wrong thing, continue to give them strength to go on and do the right things over and over again, to grow. And we ask that you might protect them in every situation into which they go. God, you've been with us in the past. Be with us in the future. We pray in the name of the God whom we worship. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. I'm going to call a special guest speaker up here in a minute, but first let me just talk an overview of Martin County Fire Rescue, because we're a very unique fire rescue agency. A lot of brothers and sisters retired, and I honor them. Fantastic organizations around the state represented, especially regionally here. Veterans, thank you for your service. Community members, teachers, doctors, nurses, you name it, professionals, business owners, all the likes. You make up the community of who we serve. But Martin County Fire Rescue is not just an agency that puts out fires and runs medical calls. We do so much more. You've heard about Dorian, this little storm that came up that devastated the Bahamas. Actually, it was a massive storm. And we also do emergency management. Our beaches are guarded by wonderful lifeguards. Chief Beckett's right there. He leads the lifeguards of our 4 guarded beaches. We have a fleet, mechanics, support personnel, logistics, and so forth. It keeps a lot to keep this moving. We have, obviously, dispatch. Pick up the phone. One of the first voices you hear is that calming effect is one of our dispatchers talking to you, trying to talk you through your emergency. It's a lot of moving parts, and we do it and we make it look easy. And it's not because of me, it's because of the wonderful people that serve this community. But we can't do it without good leadership. And the leadership came together recently with Dorian. You get your commissioners, you have our leadership over here, the upper level leadership, county administrator, deputy county administrator, assistant county administrator. We had Representative Toby Oberdorf. We had Congressman Mast. I mean, all these folks band together and get our community through, and they look to us, the public servants. What do you need? What obstacles do you need to be removed? Because we'll help. What resources do you need? Because at a phone call, they pick up and they're here. So thank you. Thank you for that wonderful support that we had. And thank God that storm did turn. But then, now an extension of the services that we provide We have our medical director, firefighter, paramedics, and so forth flying over there and actually rendering aid. We have an army of folks here gathering support and donations and so forth sent over by you all, the community. So thank you for what you're doing for the Bahamas. But right now I'd like to call up, please, our chairman of the board, Commissioner Ed Campy.
Good morning. Despite what some of you might believe, I do not need to stand in front of a microphone all the time. But given the opportunity to say thank you to the men and women in fire rescue, I will. Given the opportunity to welcome 10 brave young American heroes, that's what I believe you are, that's what I think all of us believe you are, to say welcome and that we have your backs. It's my honor to represent my colleagues, and I can't speak for them on every topic, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for them on this topic. We have your backs. At the top, we understand the value of fire rescue to this community. We understand that residents believe when they dial 911, there will be a certain level of experience and expertise. You will be well-trained, you are. You will be highly knowledgeable, you are, and will continue to become highly knowledgeable. But it's our responsibility to make sure you are properly equipped, that you are kept safe with the most up-to-date and effective and efficient gear, that you are housed to live in facilities that are up-to-date, modern, clean, cool. Now, we are the government, and we move at the speed of government. But I want you to know that our leadership team, your leadership team, and the commissioners, we are working on those things. We are so proud that you would take this chance and step up in service of your community. Dorian was just an obvious example for the public on what you all do, whether it's, like the chief said, cooking for your colleagues and other government employees all day long, every day, working in shelters, protecting us on the beaches. But beyond Dorian, every day when someone dials 911, that's their Dorian. Now we go all of us go back to our regular lives, but fire rescue and the sheriff's office, every day you're helping someone through some tragic day. I always say no one calls 911 to say they're having a great day. So with that in mind, I wanted to take a moment to tell you how proud we are of you, how thankful we are of you, and that we will support you, my colleagues and I, as long and as much as we can. And my final comment is to the families and the friends and the loved ones. I understand it's a scary position and that they've decided to take. I have it in my own family. We thank you. We understand when they leave to go to work, there's always a possibility of something terrible happening. So I in particularly want to thank you for raising heroes, allowing them the path that would lead them to be sitting in these seats today, and for creating an experience and a family environment that would make them want to do this. So we'd like to thank you as well. So thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
All right, now for a little bit of a fun. In the spirit of what happened this past weekend, it was good. NFL kicked off their season. Hopefully your teams won. Some of them may not have won. I hope there's no Dolphin fans in here because that was a massacre. That hurt to watch, trust me. But really, Chief Holtkamp outlined the fact how many applicants and how many people made it to the interview, and trust me, it's tough to choose. And there were a lot of people that didn't get chosen that could work in any fire department in this state and do an outstanding job. But we chose these 10, and they're all #1 draft picks in our minds. So that's what that represents. Ryan, Emily, Justin, Tanner, Evan, Christopher, Coy, Steele, Kaylee, Jonathan. If you ever met Jonathan, you'll never forget Jonathan. He's like marketing 101. I said he's going to be my future marketing manager here in this. So you're all #1 draft picks, and I congratulate you. You've done a wonderful job going through, impressing everybody, but don't let up on the gas pedal. Never let up on the gas pedal in this career. I talked to you, remember when I didn't have a voice that one day, it was tough to speak. And I meant what I said. You have to learn something new every day about the fire service. And you learn from anyone. It can be, and I told you, I have learned from you. And I've learned from all of our brothers and sisters, the community, leadership. You look to everyone for input. How can we improve? And don't let people tell you no. Just because it's never been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that somebody hasn't figured out a way yet. And those of us in the fire service, we're faced with some of the greatest challenges on fire scenes, medical scenes, you name it, extrication scenes, and we figure out a way to do it because those people depend on us. Their lives depend on us. And I said to you, welcome to the greatest team ever, because we don't play for trophies, we don't play for medals, we play for people's lives. So that's what I want you to keep in your mind every step of your career. You'll do wonderful. You have an outstanding head start with this training bureau that puts their heart and soul, along with a lot of those folks back there, also lended in a hand to train you over this 9-10 weeks, thanks to Dorian. But they did that because they believe in you, and they did that because they know the service that you're going to provide to our community is second to none. So thank you, congratulations, and like I said, never stop learning. Be safe, be competent, and be nice. They're all important. Thank you.
Captain Robert Udinski, Sean Lasoy.
Hi, my name's Rob Udinski. I'm one of the guys that have been beating up your sons and daughters and husbands and girlfriends and everything else. And I've made them cry a few times, kind of like I probably made that baby cry in the back also. A couple things real quick though. They've done an outstanding job, and to say I'm proud of them is an understatement. I really am. They made it through this beginning phase, and it's not over. This one small step is over, and then 10 more shifts out in the streets with an FTI, and then 9-10 more months, whatever, with your, during probation. You've heard us preach it over and over of how to be, to not, Chief's telling you not let off the gas on learning and staying, on the job, on your feet, on your toes. But actually I want to present and talk to you guys about something. What they're going through, what they're going to be going through, this is the greatest job in the world. It really is. But it comes at a cost. And that cost is insomnia, pain, suffering. The things that they're going to see in the next few months, next few years, and the rest of their career and their life, it's undescribable. So be there for them. Whatever that means, however you do that, whatever your relationship is, be there for them, whether it's emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever. They're going to need your help. And most of them are all type A personalities. They're not going to want to talk about it. They're not going to talk to you initially, but ask them how they're doing and stay up with them and keep asking them over and over again until they're okay. And if they need help, find them help, because they won't be able to talk to you about some of the things that they're going to see, and they probably shouldn't. But they're going to need somebody to talk to. And you guys, you have my word, all of you, that if you need anything, you call me too. Okay? Is that clear? All right. Another thing too, I kept this up here for a reason. During their first week, I think we actually did it in the second week, we issued a word for them. And we asked them to come up, they have a week to do it, or really a few weeks really, to come up with what that word means to them. from integrity to altruism to honor and all of that. I want you guys to remember your word and stay true to that. I know, Kaylee, yours was altruism. Stay true to it, for all of you. Each word that you had, remember it. And then remember what the other words mean, because it's really what the fire service is also based on. Besides the brotherhood and the sisterhood, it's serving the public and being a public servant. So it's important that you guys remember that, okay? All right, that's all. Okay.
I just want to say one thing is there anybody here from the hiring board that were part of this group here? I know Chief Chanchilli is. Anybody else? Not directly here?
No.
Hats off to the hiring board. Chief Schobel, you'd selected an amazing group of people to figure out the top 10 of those 400. It was very evident. It made our job a lot easier seeing the hiring board just put together a great candidate pool and a great recruit class. I said when I was part of Class 34 and Class 35, each one of them were amazing and they raised the bar each time. But this one was even better. So Class 34 I thought was great, 35 was exceptional, 36 even raised the bar even more. So I just want to say it's been a pleasure for the three of us to be a part of this process with you, and thank you. So we're always here for you, and we'll be checking up with you through the year.
Ryan.
You're up.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming out here today and supporting Recruit Class 36, as we like to call ourselves, the Big Ten. Today we graduate from a recruit to a probationary firefighter. This academy has brought more sweat, emotions, and some of the best training any recruit could ever ask for. It was, as we like to say, a hot, demanding and yet amazing experience during these 9 weeks. And as we said before, I take that back, make it 10, thanks to Hurricane Dorian. I'd like to take this time also to thank the training department, starting with Chief Holcamp, Captain Udinsky, and Captain Lissaway, and also each and every of the firefighters that came out from the streets 1 week at a time, pouring their knowledge and tools of trade into each and every one of us. And also a big thank you to the family and friends along the way that had to deal with our tired, sweaty, smelly souls as we were put to the test both physically and mentally. You are all the backbones and the true reason we are here where we are today. I remember as I was applying to many departments, just trying to get hired, get experience. I knew Martin County Fire Rescue was an excellent department. It was on the rise, as we all heard from friends who either had worked in the department or just colleagues or members of the community. But I didn't really understand how or why that was. So throughout this academy, that question honestly was soon answered, and it came right from the top. And before I elaborate on that, I'd like to read you the definition of a word that you see here at the bottom of the ladder of ethics. That word is altruism, which is the principle and moral practice of concern for the happiness of others. The reason this department is on the rise and talked about for its excellence in selfless service is because it preaches altruism, which happens to be a word we learned as a class, as they described earlier, and also from the man himself, our very own fire chief, Mr. Bill Schobel. When we first met him, I assumed that I wouldn't be seeing very much of him. He's a head honcho. He's got more important things to do than go see or be around the recruits. He's got a department to run. Later that week, we met him for the second time. And he had our names memorized by heart, just as you all saw. And that wowed me. I was blown away. And I don't know about anyone else. I'm quite honestly terrible with names. Not only can he just remember names with faces, but he took the time to visit us. Talk to us whenever he could, no matter if it was in the hot airport hangar, developing our new skills on primary searches, or even just passing by us in the hallway. You could see the passion this man had, not just for running a great department, but for each and every employee within this department. He was invested, and even more so invested in the selfless service to this great community. Lost my spot. So I say to Class 36, as we part our ways and head to our shifts, A shift's the best shift, sorry. As probationary firefighters, remain altruistic, remain selfless. Be the first to get up and the last to go to bed, not because that's the probie's duties or just our expectations, but because you are so busy helping others, helping the crew, helping the oncoming crew, doing everything with the concern of not your own happiness, but for the happiness of others. Thank you.
Presentation of the recruits will be done by Captain Robert Udinski.
I have all the stuff on our phone, so I'm not actually texting, but. All right. So we're going to do this first, though, right? Ryan Rubble, will you come down, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ryan, we made Ryan our class leader, and one of the jobs of our class leader is actually to disseminate some of the information to the recruits. So we kind of start with the chain of command. You have a fire chief, and then you work your way down, or as Chief Schobel actually, he's inverted our organizational chart. He actually puts himself on the bottom and the public on top, and then it works it that way. But in reality, it's the chain of command. So we try to get them used to how that process is going to be. So when they go out to the streets, they know to go straight to their captain first, from the captain to the battalion chief, from the battalion chief to a district bureau chief, and then so forth. So we start that process, and it's difficult. It really is. Some people think it's not that big of a deal, but he has no more seniority than any of these other people. So it's for him to be given orders. It's not easy. But I have to say, Ryan did it with such poise and professionalism, and we just couldn't say we're any prouder. We are so thankful. That was so easy for us, so you made it easy for us. So thank you, and congratulations. And with that, we also had squad leaders. Being this was one of our smaller classes, having 10 people made it more manageable for us. But we still split that into squads. So we would give a directive to Ryan. Ryan would tell Evan or Jonathan Quintero, because they were both the Squad 1 and Squad 2 leaders, and then they would disseminate that information out to them. So Evan, will you come down, please? I just want to say thank you also for being Squad 1 leader. You did a fantastic job. Jonathan. It's always fun with the rivalries against Squad 1 and Squad 2, and we take our time before we actually split people up, because we don't want, too much friendship in the class. We want some good rivalry, and we had that. That's why we split Jonathan and Tanner into different squads, just for that rivalry. So thank you again. I appreciate all your work. Thank you. All right, now what? Presentation of badges. It's you, Chief. Yeah, I'll call him out. Okay. Oh yeah, can we have the battalion chiefs? So normally what we do, A shift battalion chiefs. I guess they're just going to do A shift first.
I think they can all come up.
Yeah.
A shift should go first.
So normally we don't let them know what shift they're on and what station they're going to and who their FTI is, but they just bugged me and bugged me and bugged me, and finally, being that Dorian kind of delayed everything, I gave in. So we normally like to wait until today to actually present them with that information, because there's always rivalry on which shift they're going to, It really doesn't matter. Every shift is great. And in reality, the shift before you is always lazy, and the shift after you is always really anally retentive. So it doesn't matter what letter or number you put on that shift, it's always the same. Right?
It matters.
It doesn't matter.
But we're one family. Chief Theophilus, Chief Mallard, come on up. Did I miss any battalion chiefs? I'm standing in the room. You know I'm going blind. So. Listen, right back there.
It is bright back there.
Chief Montoya isn't here today, but he's the one that got me that shirt, so thank you to him.
All right, so we'll call A shift up first. Ryan Rubble, you are going to A shift. Surprise! And who is pinning you? Jamie. Come on down, Jamie. Ryan actually got married during our academy. Not supposed to tell anybody, but. So, please don't tell anybody that I got married. Okay, good. Secret's safe with me. I can still hear you, Rob. Can you still hear me? Congratulations.
Kind of join in with us.
A shift, Justin
You
Kendrick.
feel behind the chair.
And Justin, congratulations. John Wissenat. John, there you are. Evan Brown. And Barry Brown will be pinning him. Next, for B shift, Jonathan Quintero. And Bernardo, right? Bernardo. It's tricky. Awesome. Steel French. And Jesse French. She closed her eyes when she was doing it. Town of Rutherford. Filling in will be Daniel Rutherford. Chris Holsinger and Steele and Penny Holsinger.
All right, good. Here you go. Left hand and you can see the stitching. Last one, right in one. Perfect. Experience.
Emily Wilkeson, Bishop, and Mark Wilkeson. That was all of B shift and C shift. Kaylee Eibel and Edward Eibel is going to do the thing. After we do the all I gotta do is press the button.
Ready to bring lunch?
Oh, we did. Boy Sweat. And his wife Christina Sweat. Absolutely.
Left hand.
Class 36, please stand for the oath.
That's okay. You have a long welcoming line.
Class 36, attention. Raise your right hand. I, Ryan Rubel, do hereby declare that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States, the state of Florida statutes, and the ordinances of Martin County. I will protect the lives, property, and the environment with safety, integrity, and excellence. I will model my behavior to reflect the objectives and ideals instilled by the fire service. I will remain altruistic and never allow my personal biases to deter me from my responsibilities as a firefighter and guardian of the community. I recognize my badge and shield as a symbol of public faith and trust, and will respect the property and rights of all citizens. As an employee of Martin County Fire Rescue, I accept these duties as my responsibility and will adhere to them throughout the duration of my career. Hand down. At ease.
All right, remain standing. Jerry? You are now Martin County firefighters.
We have a short video of the class.
I'm checking my vital sign, drawing my battle lines, going to war again. Feeling the rhythm inside of my chest, all I need is just a pen. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. Don't care for the critics, my words are like physics, a force that they can't stop. They just don't get it, I think they forget I'm not done till I'm on top. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I believe we can write our story. I believe we can be an army. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark a flame. Watch as our fire rages, our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. I've struggled for years and through all of the tears I faced, the doubts I hide. I never give in to my fears deep within, cause I heard my voice inside. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I will never lose my voice if I cut out all the noise. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I believe we can write a story. I believe we can be an army. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same someone like me to know you're not alone. The moves that you make, yeah, that come up mistakes. Don't ever lose your hope. Just know you were born for this. Just know you were born for this. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark the flame. Watch as the fire rages. Our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We were born for this. We were born for this.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone and actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Yeah.
What is that? Hold that up. Fork.
A fork. I know. My neck, it's just too naughty. I can't take it.
No. Yeah. Oh, I have my mouth open. Oh.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Class 36, welcome to the family. You got 10 more months, actually 30 more years of work. But stay true to everything that brought you here. Work hard, train hard. Stay strong mentally and physically, most importantly. And treat our community with respect. Treat your brothers and sisters with respect. Remember that we have a lot of people that you're going to learn from throughout your career, and we have a lot of people that we're going to lose throughout our career due to retirement. You want to grab all the knowledge you can from those people that we have and learn from it so you can still pass it on. Again, welcome and congratulations. Class is dismissed.